Our next question comes from Mrs. Ahmed. Assalamu alaikum, Mrs. Ahmed. Apologies, you haven't actually told us where you're from, but Jazakumullah, thank you for your question nevertheless. I'm going to take sort of two questions, both this from Mrs. Ahmed and also from Idris Yusuf, who's in Huddersfield in the United Kingdom. Assalamu alaikum, Idris, and Jazakumullah for your question. Both relate to the allegations which are often put across on Muslims about the marriage of Hadhrat Aisha, who was one of the wives of the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, and in particular with reference to her age. And I suppose the first question is, can you explain, as Mrs. Ahmed is asking, the allegation which is sometimes made that she was of a very young age. Indeed, Idris in his question has suggested that, talking to a Christian, it was asserted by him that the age of Hazrat Aisha at the time of the marriage was that she was a mere age of 6 when she married the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Dr. Saab, if I could start with you on this. I mean, there's various authorities that can be used to qualify this particular issue, but it is something which is used quite extensively against Muslims, and particularly against the noble personage of the Holy Prophet of Islam.
This is an allegation that has been around for 1400 years, or in the recent past, not so long, and it is an allegation against the pure character of the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. However, one has to always look in context of the whole situation of his life before one is able to realize and look into the actual events that took place. And one must always keep all of that in mind. The allegations, as Idris has said, that non-Muslims will allege from non-authentic sources, perhaps hadiths which have no basis and cannot be verified as such, is that Hazrat Aisha was 6 years of age at the time of marriage. However, when we look at the overall picture, we perhaps will get a range of ages. Perhaps never an exact age can be given to this event, but a range of ages which may range from 12 to 19. So we could look at the other end of the scale and say, well, Hazrat Aisha was 19 years of age when she married the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The thing is that the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was married to Hazrat Khadija. The Prophet at that time was 25 years of age. Hazrat Khadija was a widow, and they remained married together for 25 years, so a long time was spent in this wedding.
She was, how old was
she? Was 40 years at the time, and the interesting thing also is, rightly, is that she had been, I think, twice widowed, so she was a widower to that extent. And that actually gives us a hint about the personality and the Prophet's views on marriage, and whether he had other intentions. Nauzubillah, he did not have any lustful intentions of that nature, because an incident took place before that which actually highlights the Prophet's mind and his mindset with regard to life and his role as the Prophet of Allah. When persecution in Mecca, when the Prophet ﷺ started to propagate Islam and started to spread his message of Islam to the Meccans, he obviously received a lot of opposition and persecution, and the chiefs of Mecca were amiss as to what to do about this. The message was beginning to take an impact on the people, and people were becoming, and the Meccans were becoming Muslims, and many were the Muslims. Hazrat Umar had converted to Islam as well. So the leaders got together and said, look, we have to do something about this, because we cannot let this go on. And they gathered in the precepts of the Holy Kaaba and sent a message to the Holy Prophet ﷺ and summoned him, and he obliged, and he came there, and the chiefs addressed him, and he said, we don't know what your game is, we don't know what you want to attain, but what we can say to you as chiefs of Mecca is that if you wish to acquire wealth, we can give you all the wealth that you require, and you will be richer than any of us put together. Or if you require honor and a position of leadership within us, we are ready to accept you as our leader. If you want to, if there is some malady that you have and you wish for that to be cured, we can make arrangements for that. or if you require the most beautiful maidens of Arabia, we can certainly provide you with all of that. And the Holy Prophet ﷺ listened to them, and of course he denied all of that. And can you imagine if a person had other ulterior motives, he would have jumped to these offers and would have taken that up. So that forms the basis of his mission, that he was propagating the faith of Allah, and he had no intentions of taking up these worldly provisions as they were.
So that was very much his character. That says the person that was, the nobility of the Prophet.
I mean, that was the nobility of his character, and that actually brings home to one that he had a very pure heart, and that was in relation to that. Now, as we know that when Hazrat Khadija passed away, he obviously prayed to Allah for guidance, as he would pray to Allah in every respect. And he received revelation that there was a green silk handkerchief that was shown to him, and that took the image of Hazrat Aisha radiyallahu anha. Hazrat Aisha was one of the daughters of Hazrat Abu Bakr, who was his most devoted friend, companion over the years, and therefore she had been brought up in a noble home, in a righteous and a pure environment to that extent. So there was purity and righteousness which was ingrained in her. However, the Holy Prophet ﷺ was only doing this on divine command. So a message was sent to Hazrat Abu Bakr, who of course, agreed to the match. And at that time, before the Hijrah, the contract of marriage with Hazrat Aisha was agreed. But at that time, the actual ceremony, Hazrat Aisha did not move in with the Holy Prophet ﷺ. Now, as far as gathering some indication of her age, this is interesting because Hazrat Abu Bakr radiyallahu anhu had two daughters. They were 10 years apart. Hazrat Asma was a daughter of the Holy Prophet ﷺ, and Hazrat Aisha was the younger of the two daughters. Now, at the time of Hijrah, Hazrat, the elder daughter, Hazrat Asma, was 28 years of age. So even if we take that into consideration, that makes Hazrat Aisha 18 years at the time of migration from Mecca to Medina, and we know that the marriage took place in the first or second year after Hijrah.
Just to be clear on that, Hazrat Abu Bakr, who was the first caliph of Islam, who after the demise of the Holy Prophet, passing away of the Holy Prophet, he had two daughters. The eldest one, as you said, was of the age of 28. And historical records indicate that the younger one was 10 years younger. Okay. So that was Hazrat Aisha.
That makes quite a big difference to what the other allegations are in this respect. So if we take some guidance, perhaps, just from this basis, that makes Hazrat Aisha 19 years, 18 years, 19 years at the time of the marriage in Medina when the migration had taken place. Let us look at some other incidents which are of importance in this respect and try to get some guidance on other age ranges. When the Battle of Badr and Uhud took place after the migration in Medina, Hazrat Aisha radiyallahu anha is reported to have helped in the Battle of Badr and Uhud in that respect. Now, there is an incident that there was a small young boy, Hazrat Ibn Umar radiyallahu anhu, at the time of Badr. He was 14 years of age. He came to the Holy Prophet ﷺ wanting to take part in the battle, of course. However, he was turned down and he was sent packing and he was sent home. He said that by the Holy Prophet ﷺ, you are too young to assist. So 14 years is too young to assist for a boy in battle. And how can we assume that the age of Hazrat Aisha would have been less than 14 at the time of the migration or time of Badr? So if we take it from that, and if she helped in those battles, then she has to be above the age of 14 at that time, at the time of Badr, which would then place her about the age of 15 when the actual marriage with the Holy Prophet ﷺ took. So there again we have some indication of another age range. There are many other incidents, and I will only take up one other, and Hazrat Aisha radiyallahu anha herself has quoted this. She said that at the time of the revelation of one of the surahs, the Surah Al-Qamar, which is the 54th chapter of the Holy Quran. She says that I was a young girl, and this revelation was 9 years before the Hijrah. So she was a young girl at 9 years before the Hijrah. If we add after the migration 1 year before her marriage, a young girl who had known that the revelation had been sent to the Holy Prophet of Surah Al-Qamar, and she knew about it, she cannot be a child of less than 4 years of age. So again, we are placing her in the category of 14 to 15 years at the time of migration, or at the time of marriage, 15 years at that stage. So there is an age range that comes across to us, but nowhere near under the age of 14, 13 of the time of marriage. So there will never be any exact science on that, but this is something that we have to agree with. What I would like to also leave our viewers with is the testimony of Hadhrat Aisha radiallahu anha in her married time with the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and that gives an indication of the pure character of Hadhrat Aisha radiallahu anha, of course, and gives us an indication of how the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam spent his time with his wives at night. Hadhrat Aisha, reports that when he accompanied her at night, he would stand almost the whole night or half the night in prayer, and his feet would be swollen because of standing so long in prayer. So this is the character of the Prophet ﷺ, that a married man would spend most of his times away from the bed of his wife and standing in prayer before Allah the Almighty. On another occasion, he says, he came to me one day into my chamber and he said, "Oh Aisha, if you give me permission, I wish to spend the whole of the night in supplications to my God." And this again indicates the character of Hazrat Aisha radiallahu anha. And she said, "O Prophet of Allah, if that is what you wish to do, and that is what pleases Allah, then I, of course, will allow you to do this." So this gives us an indication of what married life with the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And combining all of these factors together, I think no one has any basis to have any allegations in this respect leveled at the character of both the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and of Hazrat Aisha radiallahu anha.
Again, Dr. Saab, a very comprehensive answer, and I think it allays a lot of the allegations, or indeed in totality, that are laid. But I'm sure, if there's any comments, and indeed I'd say to Idris and Mrs. Ahmed, in your conversations with your friends, if, encourage them to listen to this answer. If they've got any comments, thoughts, please do let us know, and you know what to do. faithmatters@mta.tv. And a reminder of the fax number, once again, it's 44 for the UK, 208-687-8037. Idris, I know there's a couple of other additional questions you had on also about the allowance of 4 wives in Islam. That in itself is a vast subject, and we will, I'm sure, return to that in future programs of Faith Matters in due course. Indeed, I believe we have covered that previously as well, but inshallah we will return to that at some future point. Jazakumullah, gentlemen, Dr. Zaid Saab in particular, for that answer.